Hi dear friends, my name is Sergey and I'm a founder of Moi Chai Tea Company. And today we will talk a little bit about tea experiments and tea technology. Particularly, I already had a very interesting video about all the types of tea. It will be linked below, so the classical types, but today we will talk about experiments. Actually, now I'm located in our Georgian tea factory in Azorgeti, and we have quite small facility, but very good one. And now I'm trying one of our experimental teas. What you can do with the tea? Actually, when you are on tea factory, it's a kind of a kitchen because you can process it so differently. And if we talk about processing, we have main steps. For example, behind me there is a weathering of the tea or white tea. And the white tea is the most simple processing. It's just 3 days weathering, drying, kind of, and it's ready. And we have also steps like rolling, fermenting the teas, roasting, shaking, post-fermenting, of course, drying, sun drying, vacuum fermentation, and also many other steps, maybe also kind of more advanced ways of pressing in different shapes and so on, shaking, especially fermenting, like semi-fermenting and so on. So there are many tiny details in that. I want to share some few interesting details. How do we experiment? And actually, because one of my personal passions in tea, of course, the people ask me, "Oh, Sergey, what tea do you like?" I all the time say the tea which I never tried before. Perfect way to create this tea, of course, is really just process it yourself. So I'm regularly living in factories. Sometimes it's my factory, sometimes some friendly facilities. Like we have our own factory in Thailand, here in Georgia, and now also our friendly facility in Vietnam, and also our collaboration projects in China and so on. Mostly I work in these 4 countries, but sometimes also visiting others. But the main thing about the experiments is that you can really create so different taste by just changing a tiny detail. For example, here we process GABA white tea. So we just vacuumly ferment fresh leaf, and after that lather it again with a white tea processing technology, and you immediately have completely different taste. For example, you can also experiment with fermentation. You can roast the tea on a little bit lower temperature, roll it, sun dry it, and after you put it in a little bit wet condition for a couple of times, and you have almost like a pure processing, but not fully. So it's something in between HR dark tea and pure, and you can make really specific tastes during this fermentation. So much experiments on that. Also with withering, you can have many steps. You can have this long withering, like 24 hours for some teas, or you can have 7 hours withering. After that, semi-fermenting or vacuum fermenting and withering again, and rolling after that. Also, one of the most exciting teas for me actually is GABA teas. It's all varieties, all the gameplay around the vacuum fermenting. We have a specific GABA machine here in Georgia. Also have the same in Thailand and also in China, mainland China, and other countries. But the vacuum fermenting brings completely different experience about how do you process other steps, and you can make it before rolling and after, and also you can make it after withering, instead of withering, in the middle of withering, different measurements, different time, and so it's many experiments you can create. And even if you just change a tiny bit, just 2 hours longer or withering or less, and also you can look at the fresh leaf. You can look how wet is it. For example, here I have fresh leaf which we wither for a couple of times, and I say, now we process this leaf a little bit differently, and we, according to the status of the leaf, we also write down all the recipes. So even during I stay around half of a month here, and we just make around maybe 15 different technologies, and they select the technology, how do we process it. And after I do implement this technology on different regions, I go to China, to Thailand, we also try to process it similarly. So it's so wonderful discovery. It's a gameplay with the technology, and also with certain types And after you have teas which you actually can't call, you can't name the group of these teas, because, for example, if you process the tea here in Georgia, we don't have oolong teas. But if we process the tea similarly like oolong tea processing in China or Taiwan or in other countries, it's almost have a taste of oolong. But because there are no oolong tea bush here, so it's a different variety, different cultivar, still kind of oolong tea, but not oolong taste fully. So it's unique tea. And for me, one of the most interesting discovery that you can create all the time, constantly, something completely different. So this is the best enjoying part in these experiments, and we are trying to develop as much as possible specific teas, but also fix the best recipes and learn from it, and also try to implement it. So that's a wonderful thing. And this is why I'm so often staying on tea factories, just to discover more and more varieties of teas, and to understand more how to play with the tea leaf, how to feel the tea leaf, because you need really to stay to feel the status. One of the most important technologies, I still do believe, is the withering. So no one see, oh yes, tea is nothing happening with the tea. But actually during the tea just wither, there are so many important details, how it's wither, what's the aeration or ventilation of the pans, and how do you, what's layer of the leaves, what the quality of material, so it's a little bit more mature leaf or more younger leaf, depending on the season. For example, now the middle of the season, so it's summertime. Here in Georgia, it's not like in China, it's not so hot, so we still can have quite good tea even in June, even in the beginning of July. But of course, the better tea still, it's end of April, beginning of May, a better quality leaf. So you need to work differently depending on the quality of material. Many tiny details, and it's so wonderful to discover and to feel the tea and to smell it and to see all the smells during the processing. And often you can buy the smell by touching the leaf, by, of course, trying the tea all the time in a factory. You feel it better, and you know, oh yeah, I want to try it, to go to that direction, because I know how, for example, some Taiwanese teas are smells, and I want to try to bake it somehow to make some specific type of rolling and so on. So this is why we are here, and yeah, hope you like this video, because I just a little bit try to explain how do we experiment with tea and why it's so interesting, and also share some examples. So hopefully it was interesting. Please share your details in the comments below, and I really appreciate your time. I wish you good luck and drink good tea. Please subscribe my channel, look for some other videos, and hope this help you to understand tea better. Thanks, have a nice day, and drink great tea.